Coming up next at 5.
Right here on WJZ.
Bundle up, Baltimore. A blast of Arctic air gripping our region. I'm meteorologist Tim Williams in the First Warning Weather Center tracking the frigid temperatures.
Baltimore shatters a per capita murder record. I'm Mike Helgren with a look back at those who lost their lives and a look ahead at what's being done to stop the killings.
Thousands will come to Baltimore for the New Year's Eve spectacular, but how is the city planning to keep everyone safe? I'm Rick Ritter with a live report straight ahead.
This is WJZ TV Baltimore, in your community, where you live. WJZ News at 5 starts right now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala.
And I'm Jessica Cartelli. We are following some breaking news. A tractor-trailer crash blocking traffic in Baltimore County. Looking live using a traffic camera at I-70 at 695 in Woodlawn. As you can see, all eastbound lanes of I-70 are completely blocked by the overturned tractor trailer. It is still unclear if there are any injuries or what may have caused this accident. Of course, we will continue to follow this breaking news and we'll bring you the very latest information as it comes into our newsroom. Bone-chilling conditions. A cold snap grips our region as temperatures drop to dangerous lows. If bundling up doesn't do the trick, people in Towson this afternoon tried hugging each other to keep warm in this bitter cold. And in North Baltimore, these tree trimmers were battling the elements, trying to keep safe while getting their job done. Taking a live look outside, a code blue alert remains in effect tonight. WJZ has First Warning weather coverage of the Arctic blast. Kimberly Eaton is live with how people in the city are preparing for days of freezing weather. But first, meteorologist Tim Williams is tracking the frigid conditions and what's ahead. Tim?
Well, frigid is right, Jessica. Our temperatures are sitting in the 20s now. We are coming down from a daytime high only in the mid-20s. 7 degrees is the current temperature out in Oakland. That's the coldest on our map in western Maryland there. 21 is the temperature down in Ocean City, 22 in Bel Air. We have 20 in D.C. and in Baltimore at BWI Thurgood Marshall. We've been talking about these winds being directed into our region from the west and northwest. That's tapping in to a very cold Arctic air mass. And you add that 8-mile-per-hour wind to a temperature that's only around 20, and it feels like 10 degrees in central Maryland on your skin. Feels like 10 degrees down on the shore. Single digits is what it feels like as you get out toward Allegheny and Garrett counties. Feels like 14 degrees both in Bel Air and in Frederick. We are looking at forecast lows, the actual forecast lows tonight, down in the single digits across western portions of the state. Westminster out toward Oakland as well. We were feeling like 10 degrees. That's going to be the forecast low down in Ocean City. And the forecast low in central Maryland just around 12. We'll have the answer for how long these cold temperatures stick around in your complete First Warning forecast in just a few moments. Mary?
Thank you so much. Let's now go to Kimberly Eaton live with how people around Baltimore are trying to stay warm and preparing for more extreme conditions. Kimberly?
And Mary, with that cold blue warning in effect for at least the next few days, the health commissioner says if you can, stay inside. If you can't, bundle up. Mother Nature isn't releasing her icy grip on Baltimore anytime soon. So while the city waits for a warm-up, Marvin...
I just knew it was going to be this cold.
And Michaela...
Put 2 jackets on and then this. It's just so cold out here.
Bundle up to wait for the bus. They're not the only ones fighting the freeze with extra layers.
It is very cold out. I don't like the cold weather.
Abbott Garnett is headed to work, and that means heading out into a cold commute.
Top on thermal, 2 sweaters, I have a turtleneck, 2 pair of gloves.
And if you're on the road behind the wheel this winter, the dipping temps bring some different problems.
It affects your wear on your tire, it affects the temperature of the tire, it affects traction, your handling and stability, so it's a big deal.
Dropping tire pressure, frozen radiators, broken belts, cars overheating. Car care guru Chris Storm says it all comes with the extreme weather, with AAA racing out to help 930 Marylanders with dead batteries during the cold snap. His advice, stay ready year-round.
All that stuff can be prevented.
And he also recommends keeping a blanket, some food, and some water in the car just in case you do break down in this weather. Reporting live in Baltimore tonight, I'm Kimberly Eaton for WJZ.
Kimberly, thank you. And remember to download WJZ's weather app to keep track of our changing weather. Get hourly, daily, and extended forecast plus severe weather warnings. Just search WJZ Weather and get our app.
A sad milestone for Baltimore. The number of killings has broken a per capita record, making the city one of America's deadliest. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren is live at the War Memorial Building, where a vigil for the victims is being held tonight. Mike?
Jessica, there have been 343 victims to date. And despite all the attention, the federal and state help, the money for new technology, nothing has slowed the pace of killings. This video shows the men wanted for killing 19-year-old Morgan State student Jonathan Tobash, one still holding the murder weapon. Tobash was one of more than 340 people killed in Baltimore this year, a record-shattering number of homicides per capita. Family friend Lambre Patton says it was like losing her own son.
And I want Baltimore City to get themselves together and stop killing our children. It's too many. And this one right here hits me in my heart as it does other people, because I want him back here with me. You know, he's supposed to be at my funeral. I'm not supposed to be at his.
Tobash was murdered simply going to the store. That same day, James Forrester was shot to death in Fells Point when he went outside to take a call from his wife. Police also released surveillance video of suspects in that still unsolved killing.
Unacceptably high, violence.
The commissioner has touted an increase in officers.
Where we've actually hired more police officers than we've lost to retirement or resignation. That's very unusual.
The murder of 24-year-old Markel Coleman is one of those that pushed Baltimore past the per capita record. He was found shot in the back here on Hilton Street. 97-year-old Waddell Tate was the oldest victim, bludgeoned in his home over the summer. And the murders of 2 police officers remain unsolved. Off-duty D.C. cop Tony Mason Jr. shot in northwest Baltimore last month, and homicide detective Sean Suter shot with a service weapon in West Baltimore.
And I'm just tired of all this killing here in Baltimore City. We got to do something.
The vigil starts here at 6:30, runs until 8:30. You're encouraged to bring a sign with a word of encouragement for 2018. Live at the War Memorial Building, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
All right, Mike, thank you. In comparison, New York City, with a population almost 14 times Baltimore's, has had fewer than 300 murders, down from more than 2,000 killings a year in the early 1990s.
Well, police make an arrest in a Christmas night stabbing that left one man dead in Howard County. Damian Clark turned himself in and is charged with second-degree murder and assault. Police say the incident happened in Columbia at the Trellis Center convenience store. They say an argument led to the stabbing that killed 23-year-old James Fallen Jr. and injured 22-year-old Warner Jackson. Clark is being held without bond. Well, we're following some more breaking news right now. House fire in northeast Baltimore. Chopper 13 is live over the scene. Captain Jeff Long with more on it for us. Captain Jeff?
This fire is on Biddison Lane at Green Hill Avenue in northeast. Flames visible underneath the porch. You can see it if you look closely. The fire department only got here a few minutes ago, and up until a few seconds ago, we were seeing some serious flames, and they're kicking in right now as they start to vent some of this. Now, there's a lot of smoke coming from the north side, which is your left where those ladders are, and it looks like a lot of this fire is in the upper floors of this home. We're going to be keeping an eye on this. Right now, it's not having an impact on traffic other than local neighborhood traffic, but there is a lot of equipment around here. So if you're in the area near Green Hill and Biddison Lane, use caution. Reporting live from Chopper 13, I'm Captain Jeff Long. Back to you.
Captain Jeff, thanks so much. We'll bring you more information as we get it on that house fire.
We are just days away from Charm City's biggest event of the year. The New Year's Eve Spectacular will draw thousands to downtown Baltimore on Sunday. Police and the city are now gearing up to keep everyone safe. WJZ is live at the Inner Harbor. Rick Ritter takes a closer look at the security in place. Hi, Rick.
Well, just weeks ago, it was random attacks here at the Inner Harbor that brought a lot of concern during the holiday season. Thousands of people will be here come Sunday, and police say they have many assets in place, some that are obvious and some you won't see at all. The bitter cold is certainly hitting Baltimore hard. But despite the nasty temperatures, thousands will flock to the Inner Harbor to ring in the new year. The city is in the midst of one of its most violent periods on record.
They hit my husband in the head. They knocked him out.
Just weeks ago, it was a string of random attacks by teens at the Inner Harbor that steered people away from downtown.
She was kicked, she was punched, she was hit in the head with the bat.
With the New Year's Eve Spectacular, one of Baltimore's biggest events, safety couldn't be more crucial.
What we want to do is protect the public.
For city police, it's all hands on deck.
They will see increased uniform presence in the downtown area. There will also be a lot of increased enforcement that, of course, they won't see.
Officials say with a late afternoon game for the Ravens, crowds downtown are expected to be more massive than usual for New Year's Eve. Police will utilize the City Watch camera system and hone in on vehicle restrictions.
And I'm sure everyone understands why you don't have to look too far around the country or the world to see that restricting vehicular access is a best practice.
Doing everything they can to make sure Charm City's primetime show is safe as can be. Now, the city has a lot of experience with events like this, of course, with the 4th of July and the Baltimore Marathon. Officials urging people to arrive here early Sunday and plan ahead with parking and transportation. Live at the Inner Harbor tonight, I'm Rick Ritter reporting for WJZ.
All right, Rick, thanks so much. The New Year's Eve Spectacular starts at 9 Sunday night. A judge rejects Roy Moore's attempt to stop Alabama from certifying Democrat Doug Jones as the winner of the U.S. Senate race. Moore filed a lawsuit last night in Montgomery County Circuit Court. His attorney wrote in the suit he believed there were irregularities. Jones was officially declared the winner of the special Senate election this afternoon. Moore's campaign was wounded by accusations of sexual misconduct against him involving teenage girls decades ago.
President Trump is back at his golf club in Palm Beach today. Yesterday, he made his first public appearance during his Florida holiday vacation. As Mola Lengi reports for WJZ, the president visited a firehouse where he touted his first-year achievements.
What's happening, because we want to give these people credit for the great job they do. So thank you all very much.
President Trump visited firefighters in West Palm Beach Wednesday afternoon, thanking them for their service. He also paused to pat himself on the back.
The country is really, it's a big, big, beautiful ship that we're turning around. We have signed more legislation than anybody. We broke the record of Harry Truman.
A CBS News analysis shows the president has signed more than 90 bills into law since he took office. That number is hundreds fewer than the nearly 700 pieces of legislation that one bill tracking website counts as signed by President Kennedy during the same period. President Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush also signed more than 200 bills into law during the same time. Mr. Trump also took to Twitter, taking credit for an 83% increase in arrests for members of the MS-13 gang and reducing the number of ISIS fighters from 35,000 to 1,000 since he took office.
Fresh off his legislative tax victory, President Trump plans to hold a strategy session with Republican congressional leaders at Camp David the first weekend in January.
Spokesmen for both Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan confirmed they will attend. The president is hoping to notch more legislative achievements leading up to the midterm elections. Lawmakers face a number of issues when they return to Washington, ranging from immigration to the budget.
Mola Lengi reporting for WJZ, the White House.
Congress avoided a government shutdown by passing a last-minute spending bill, but that expires on January 19th.
Still ahead on WJZ News at 5.
A Maryland homeowner shoots and kills a suspect who was on his property. Was the shooting justified? I'm Amy Yensi. Details on the investigation next on WJZ.
Responding to reports of sexual misconduct, the latest federal investigation underway at the University of Maryland College Park.
A power outage at the Disneyland Resort in California. I'm Tracy Leong with how park goers were impacted. That's coming up on WJZ.
Taking a live look outside, a bitterly cold night ahead in Baltimore. Don't miss the updated First Warning weather forecast with Tim.